Welcome back, and today we are going to be playing out the FU4, and it's the 4.3 version, not the 4B. And back in the day, this thing was actually quite close to something like the P51D30. But not so recently, but a little while ago, they changed the flight model, and the FU4 actually doesn't fly anything like a P51 anymore. Nowadays, it's actually quite stiff. It's not very good at turning. It compresses quite a bit at high speed as well, and the rudder is non-existent. You fly this thing quite similar to something like you do with a Dora, but it also has a very good low speed performance when you do get the flaps down. The high speed performance, however, is actually kind of doo-doo dog shit, and you will be compressing quite badly. If you go above like 650, 600, you will notice that you are gonna struggle reversing even something like a 109, and before, you would absolutely rinse this thing. High speed, it was great. Here you can see 700 kilometers an hour and I'm pulling 7G. This is not something that you are familiar with when you're flying the F4Us. Unfortunately, it's the case nowadays. We set Mommy Milkers on fire and we're gonna start with the first game. We have a yak tree, we have some speed coming in here, we have some altitude on him, so I'm not really feeling too pressured. But I want to kill him right here because the yak tree is extremely annoying to deal with. Luckily, we pilot snipe him with some 50 cals. And now we can start to clean up the rest of the lobby. We are the last one alive, and this is, well, fortunately, because I like these games. But if you don't like carrying, you are gonna have these matches quite often. You are gonna be outnumbered, and it's quite tedious with this thing to actually kill people. Yes, you are fast, you are able to disengage at will, basically. But if people get above you and you don't have an energy advantage, it's very long-winded, tedious, and just not a lot of fun to claw it back. Because you just don't have the climb rate at these low altitudes. Super high alt, yeah, sure. But at these low altitudes, you need to work with the energy that you have. Luckily, this plane maintains its energy quite well. And if you do drop the flaps at lower speeds, you will find yourself outturning quite a bit of things. The low speed power is actually quite decent. Pure Mursky pitching up for us. He is very slow, however, but I'm gonna go for the 190 first because he's basically a 100% sure kill. And I can kind of cut these numbers down and now start paying attention to the Pure Mursky. The Pure Mursky isn't as fast as us and he won't maintain as much speed here. Now it is gonna be very dangerous to kill him quickly, but I need to be aggressive here because there's too many people around. And a plane like this will absolutely ruin my game. So I wait for me to basically hit about 340. I start pitching horizontal, he is lower than us, he will get a very short window, that's all he gets, he misses it, it is a very hard shot, and then he stalls out. Here, the actual weakness of this plane starts to shine. With the flaps down, sure, I can go vertical, they have so much lift, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna play for position here, because the radius of this plane is so massive, it's very hard to kill people if they just turn into a singular direction. We drop throttle, we drop the flaps, I'm mainly just trying to get behind him here. And when you get behind people, they tend to panic a little bit. And a lot of people just try to scissor you. And this is great because now I'm slower. I have the flaps down. We are very slow. And just like that, we can finish him off. And because we made short work of him, we can now pay attention to the A6M below us. As well as the J26 that is somewhere that I don't see right now. We dive into the A6M. We pick up a little bit of speed. So we have some ability to dodge his rounds if he does pitch up for us. We go up over his nose, we get behind him. If he tries to pitch up for this, he dies. He doesn't have the energy to do so. And I'm just going to finish him off right here. Not very energy efficient, but the A6M is very annoying to deal with in a plane like this if you equalize the energy. So I wanted to kill him right there. Yes, I parked myself in front of the J26. It's a little bit sussy, but I know that in this kind of maneuver, I will absolutely rinse the J26 because my low speed performance is much better than his. I maintain my energy much better than he does. And well, it's a P51. It's not very great at low speed dogfighting. So we take a little bit of a burst, we set him on fire. And I mean, that's really all she wrote. J26 is gonna probably burn up, but I'm not gonna let this guy go RTB and get above me because I still have to deal with a Typhoon. And the A21 or the J21, which is not really a big threat, but next to each other they might be a little bit annoying. So J21 just has a very easy time hosing you down if you're busy with something like a Typhoon. The Typhoon is a very dangerous plane. We do know there's a little bit of engine smoke, so my target prioritization is actually kind of bad here. I go for the guy that's in front of the Typhoon, but he's higher, and I know that I can take a pass on him without actually putting myself in danger to the Typhoon. So we kind of go up, We try to reassess the situation. The Typhoon isn't that fast. He does have a little bit of an oil leak, probably got hit by AA or something, and he starts pitching for us. And instead of going up right now, I'm going to get a little bit of separation. I dive out to pick up some speed, and then we slowly work our way up, directly above and behind him, and we just kind of see what he does. Now, he's blocked by the wing here, so I couldn't really see what he was doing. Try to peek around it, and he dives underneath us. And this right here is prime time F4U struggle and strength at the same time. I can't really commit. I will compress, I will overshoot, and he will absolutely rinse me. I can of course try to run away and reclimb, but again, it's tedious and long-winded. Typhoon is now very slow. We pitch up over his nose, he goes for the head-on, and instead of actually committing to the head-on, we simply just kind of roll out of the way and pitch back over. Now this guy is completely stalled out, and there is very little he can do. We don't have to be as aggressive. It's 1v1 here, there is no one around. There's a B-25 on the other side of the map, but he is gonna sit on the runway and then simply leave. A little bit unfortunate. I told him that he could bomb, I told him that he could ground pound because, well, we are the last ones left. I'll just let him do it, but he just insisted to instantly turning around and then losing the game on tickets. Your loss, but you know, my win. So thank you very much. As we are flying into the middle of the map, we just kind of stumble upon an ME-264. Don't mind if I do, and then I'll just continue on straight for another J26. I want to work top to bottom with this thing. Getting people above you yet again is just very detrimental to the health of your game, so to speak. Now this guy is just pulling fully in front of us. Massive broadside, not very fast. Finish him off, make sure it doesn't get stolen. And then we turn back in for the Typhoon. Again, not gonna be super aggressive, just let him come to us. He is climbing, we are flying straight, we are picking up speed, he is losing it. And he's gaining a bit of position, gives them a little bit of extra confidence. And then just kind of loop on over, spiral up. And he doesn't have the energy to keep up with this, so I can now, after he basically stalls out, we can pitch down, put a nose on him. And that's all she wrote. He's too slow to do anything, and he just simply dies. Then we have an A7M directly below us, and yet again it's one of those planes that's annoying to fight, because if I commit, I will compress, we will overshoot, and it's gonna take us quite a while to actually kill him. So I'm gonna make a pass here, he's going to counterattack, and I'm simply gonna go straight up. If he wants to follow this, he stalls himself out, I can drop back down on top of him. I need to be careful that he doesn't commit into a head-on, and I need to keep eyes on that Yak 3. But right now I want that A7M dead, because it's just an annoying plane to deal with, and I have him by the balls right now. So we make another pass, he breaks off, I break off too, but I'm not going to be as passive this time around. He probably anticipates me to do that. So I'm going to go horizontal this time. Let's see what he does, let's see how he replies. He actually just flies straight, and he picks up a bit of speed, and this is what you have to do with an A7M. The issue is that I have so much speed, so much energy, that it's very hard for him to really counter this as long as I break off in time. Now we had the right idea here, but I kind of drained his balls. He didn't really notice it, and because of that he was going super slow. He turned around kind of slowly as well. Massive sitting duck. We turned him into a matchbox, and he had to dive down a little bit more. The issue is that it would have only delayed the inevitable, because if I play it right, that will happen until he is all the way on the deck. Now the 109 is pitching up for us. But I noticed the Yak 3, I wanted to kill him in the meantime while I'm setting up for the 109. Works out absolutely perfectly. And we get ourselves a nice little, well, not really a triple kill, but, well, you know what I mean. A7M is about to burn up. And that's going to be kill number 6. Number 6. I swear he's about to burn up. Don't make this awkward, just die. There we go, that took a lot longer than expected. And then for the last guy we have a Spitfire. He kind of just goes like 300, and this is not a skillful depiction, but I just want to show you how easy it is when you have a bit of energy. Well, a bit, when you have like triple his energy, and you don't turn as well. So we just kind of merge next to him, we pitch straight up. If he goes straight, he dies. If he pitches into us, well, he dies. And if he tries to head on us, you guessed it, he also dies. We just have so much more speed and he can't really do anything. We are at 1.5 kilometers. We're still going like 450. We're still going quicker. When he tries to dodge, he is simply way too slow. We are about to hit the compression. But just like the sacred text has foretold, well, he dies. How that works is funny, isn't it? And then for the last few games, I mean, there's nothing really going on here, but I just wanted to show you that sometimes you can't really stay at altitude. You can't just fight it out, because you're not going to get anything done. We have a group of enemies down there, and we need to be careful about not over-compressing. But I see 3 people that are slow on the deck, that are like distracted by a yak. So I think to myself, how are we going to clean these guys up? Now we need to make sure that we don't burn our speed too quickly. And yes, this does make us vulnerable for people that are at altitude. But look at this compression, 7G at 800. It does go super fast, and it doesn't really compress more than it does right now. Because 850 and a 4.3 plane is absolutely ridiculous. Just be careful that you don't get stuck in the compression for too long, because you are going to piss away all your energy. And you need to be a little bit conservative with it. So we put it into a shallow climb at the start. Once we have some separation, we just kind of nose it like 70, 80 degrees up. We loop on over, we have 2 Spitfires. And these 2 guys have nowhere near the energy to contest us right now. So I basically just wait till I get behind them. And then if they want to head on me, they have to do a full 180 degree while also pitching like over the 90 degree up point. That's super energy inefficient. So I basically have these guys by the balls. I just need to make sure that I don't stall myself out and I don't end up like compressing into the ground. Just take a few pot shots at the Spitfire, make him maneuver a little bit. We start reeling in the other Spit. The one behind us is nowhere near fast enough, so we just are gonna clip this guy real quick. Get it? Because he has clipped wings. Yeah, I'm hilarious, I know. And then we just kind of pitch on over. We do the same thing. Medium steep climb, but at this point the other Spitfire is about to head on the 219. We have another 119 in the area, and somehow they miss a full commit head on, and I'm able to come back in and clean up the mess. Now this is not exactly the most stellar gameplay, I know. I just want to show you that these games are very often. I don't have these epic carries all the time. Most of my games look like this, where I'm just kind of flying around, not really accomplishing much. Sure, I'm getting like 3 or 4 kills, but there's not much to talk about. And with a plane like this, it's very common, because you are more of that team-oriented plane. Yes, you are fast. Yes, you're able to disengage. But if you are disengaging and not able to set up for another attack, you're really never going to get anything done. And that's because, well, it's not fast at killing people. So you need another guy to clean up the mess. And then for the last few clips here, we have some Wyverns that I want to bully, because I absolutely loathe this plane. And the Wyvern is something that you can dogfight, despite the Wyvern turning better than you for a little bit. It also loses way more speed. And I mean way more speed. So we kind of just pull him into the vertical. I drop my flaps. I'm trying to get behind him. I'm not really occupied with getting the shot right now. I'm simply trying to get in position so that I can hose him down. But I also want to make sure that I'm not too passive, because then he just runs to the deck and flies away. So I'm gonna start rolling into him here. I'm going for the shot. We have another teammate coming in, but it doesn't really matter because the Wyvern is already dead to rights. It doesn't seem like he did any damage to that guy, so I'm just gonna be spraying at this guy a little bit to make him maneuver, because a Wyvern late game is just so tedious to deal with, and I really can't be asked. I focus these things all the time. Aiming it at medium to high speed is a little bit difficult with this thing. But I absolutely loathe Wyverns, and I will go out of my ways throwing the match to kill them if it means that I can put them out of the misery. I am not dealing with those things late game. I really don't care what your argument is. Yes, I might be throwing the game. Yes, it might not be ideal, but I will be taking care of them. Wyvern coming in from the right. We are going 820, however. And the Wyvern has a little bit of smoke on him. The Typhoon does as well. So I'm just going to make sure that this guy doesn't make it back to the airfield. We set him on fire with a single burst. And then we just kind of turn into the Wyvern. Now we are compressing. This is a super wide loop, or turn. And this is kind of sketchy. I don't go up until later, because I wanted him to turn a bit more, burn more speed. And I didn't want to go too slow into the merge either. The second we get into the merge, look at this. He doesn't have the energy to keep up with that. I maintain my speed a lot better. I have a lot better power generation at low speed. And I actually turn quite a bit better as well. Go for the first shot. We miss it, but we're still going about 600. He just came out of a smallish dogfight. And the Wyvern, well, he's going nowhere near his top speed. So we are just going to put him out of his misery like we did with the other one. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you all for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.